All factory sounds can be controlled directly in this manner. Just load a sound and start tweaking immediately. All the macro controls have already been pre-configured for Core. So if used within Core, you can control them using the Core hardware controller. Now that we have made changes to a sound, we want to save the sound with a new name and with some additional attributes. Switch to the Attributes window. Now you can add or remove attributes so that the description better fits the new sound we have made. You can also rate each sound individually and color code them. Now save your new sound by choosing Save, located in the top header. How do the macro controls affect the sound? Let's change to the Synth view to get a better idea of how this works. Click the Synth button in the navigation bar to switch to the Synth view or press F3. You will see the same 8 macro control knobs, labeled 1 through 8, in the lower right corner of the window. In the Synth view, you can see how each control modifies the sound, and you can also create your own control assignments. But first of all, let's take a look at the different sections of the Synth view window. Sound generation in Massive begins in the Oscillator section, which is located on the left-hand side of the interface. Like all modules on the Synth page, each oscillator has an on-off switch. The oscillators also have 3 knobs and 2 pop-up menus that control the way they work. You can select the specific wavetable for each individual oscillator with the pop-up menu. In each oscillator module, you can choose between basic, analog electric, digital hybrid, and effects chords wavetables. You can also go through the wavetable sequentially with the previous and next buttons. And the wavetable position knob lets you morph through different waveforms in the selected table. With the intensity knob, you can tweak wavetable readout parameters, depending on the selected mode. Check out what intensity does when in the bend modes. Use the pitch display to tune the oscillator up or down, adjusting it by semitones and cents. Just click, hold, and move your mouse up and down. You can jump whole octaves by pressing the Alt or Option key on your computer keyboard. The modulation oscillator's output can be used for ring, phase, and wavetable position modulation of the 3 main oscillators. This oscillator is the perfect tool for sculpting aggressive, cutting sounds. The noise section incorporates the sound of a noise generator into Massive. Choose between different noise types with the pop-up menu, and change color and output with the knobs. The feedback section lets you reroute the signal from several different insert points back into the signal chain. The point that the signal is routed back from is defined on the routing page of the central window. Then we have the insert effects, which can be patched in at various points in the signal chain. Simply click one of the buttons labeled Insert 1 to select where the Insert 1 effect will be placed. Massive features two separate filter buses that can be routed in series or parallel or crossfaded between serial and parallel. You can insert one filter of any available type in each bus by selecting it from the Filter drop-down menu. On the right, you will find the master effects, which come at the very end of the signal chain. You can use the effects pop-up menus to choose the effects you want. The parameters controlled by the effects knobs depend on which effect you have selected and are labeled accordingly. On the very right of the master effects, you will find the master EQ and the master outputs above it. Now let's get back to our macro control knob assignments. Load the sound Rampage. Now take a look at Oscillator 1. The small yellow numbers beneath the control knobs indicate